Welcome back YouTubers to my channel of an everyday life of an Aspie. If you're following me right now, I'm AspieAnswersAll and I'm known as Aspie for short. I'm all about right now creating mental health and awareness versus taking you all on a journey with my everyday struggles and experiences of Asperger's syndrome and the like, so that hopefully you can get to know me better as a person than these diagnoses that you see under the umbrella that I share with you all. I also share basically other mental health disorders just to create an awareness and understanding for you all, basically, so that you know that you're not alone, or being able to understand what life is like for others that hasn't spoken out yet. So I'm one of the ones that's taking that stand right now, as well as also mentoring and advocating for you all, as well as sharing just some tips, knowledge, experiences along the way of what my life is like versus just some everyday tips and advice, pool of wisdom, basically, of what you may be struggling with, and hopefully that you can take it on board regardless what it may be. So enough for the do, guys. Basically, I've been learning or talking about, shall we say, about the topic of the learning disabilities that covers ADD, ADHD and dyslexia, and this is basically the dyslexia series, and this is basically Part 6, Episode 2, Diagnosis, How to Test for Dyslexia. So let's begin this, and hopefully you'll learn something today, and feel free to comment below if anything that you feel is, isn't right, or you feel to share with some people that works for you and not for me, because as I said, I'm no medical expert. I'm just in everyday normal blogs, just trying to, share my life stories and actually just give you tips and advice that may have worked for me, that may be working for you as well, or what works for you may not work for me, and vice versa. If anything doesn't fit with you all, as I said, just feel free to either withhold your comments and just respect my point of view across of what I share of everyday topics that I may address later on that's close to my heart, and basically also just in a matter of timing, basically just feel free to just have a open mind to what I share, basically, because like I said, it's all about respecting one another. So let's begin this Part 6, Episode 2, How to Test for Dyslexia of the Diagnosis. As we know, as I said before, dyslexia can be defined as many things, but from what I can recall, it's either a learning disability, or as one of the sites, I can't remember right now, calls it, it's a mental disorder that involves an issue with learning letters, numbers, languages and direction. Unlike many mental disorders, however, dyslexia doesn't affect the main intelligence of a person, and it allows the person diagnosed to function as normally as possible and as humanly as possible, despite the issues that arises of these kind of things, of the reading, writing and so on. Dyslexia can be tested or identified in children or adults, and in this how-to of my video, hopefully you'll be able to learn more and be able to do something about it, put it into action. Anyway, let's go. Number 1, identify the person shows any signs of dyslexia. Some of the most common signs of dyslexia are as follows. Number 1, person shows a considerable amount of intelligence or potential but has difficulty or doesn't seem to be able to read, write or spell at the normal ability of their own age. Number 2, person shows or experiences confusion with letters, numbers, words and sentences structure. Number 3, the person does better presenting or showing orally than in written or typed forms. Number 4, shows in or complains of visual issues even if the medical test failed to turn up with any abnormalities. And last but not least, number 6, seems to be unable to write without spelling by ear. Number 2 for this is can test them by memory. A dyslexic person tend to remember better with experience than being taught orally, however. Gather people around the possibility with this dyslexia hasn't met and gained permission to take their picture. Maybe a tip here is introduce the people around that dyslexic in question, including their name. Later in the day, teach them math or English lessons that average person in any age group should know or learn about. Follow up in a week, asking them to comprehend the educational lessons, then have them name and describe about the people they meet. Get a notebook and give them a point in a dyslexic column if they remember the people better than the educational knowledge that you've given them at hand. Number 3, test procrastination. Dyslexics and people with ADHD, I should say, does suffer from this. Dyslexics tend to try, especially ADHD people, tend to try to put off reading or writing. This can be hard or confusing to test, but there is a technique, however, okay? what I'm addressing here is maybe talk about reading or writing something down pertaining to them, or ask them to read or write something. They'll most likely to try avoid the available task. Not only is this a test of avoidance, but also a test of confidence. Dyslexics often feel self-conscious about themselves and about what they go about doing in their everyday life. If they avoid reading or writing, give a point to in a dyslexic column. Number 4, test coordination. Playing sport with them, do yoga with them, watch them write. Do whatever that involves some form of coordination skills versus, activity. Dyslexics tend to be off balance and or jittery. Handwriting is often sloppy, or hand-eye coordination is abnormal. This is a simple test with little to no skill materials involved. Number 5, track time management and telling. This is the last one. Observe if the person has trouble with managing time or telling time. Don't force the person to manage their time for the experiment and rather watch their reactions. Dyslexics often have a hard time with organising time and numbers, as in telling time. All you need is a clock to see this one, to see how often, or if they do check it every once in a while. Well, basically that ends the quick piece of how to test if they're dyslexic or not. Give me a like with a thumbs up. Comment below if there's anything I missed below, basically, so I can show that you're engaging with me. Feel free to also follow me on the Facebook or Twitter on AspieAnswersAll. Feel free to subscribe to my channel if you haven't, because on a daily or weekly I'm hoping to upload, basically, despite my, everyday, challenges that I'm going through right now, as I shared. Feel free to also share these videos around to family and friends. So thanks for your support, thanks for watching. Do what you love what you do. Until next time, I'll see you all again soon. Ciao.